morning. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Yarn on the Beach. This is episode 192, and we're here live in Southwest Florida, watching the sunrise over the buildings and the trees to the east. This is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. If you are joining me live, please say hello and let me know what you're crafting on this morning. And if you end up watching the recorded version later on today, please also feel welcome to say hello and leave me a comment. I reply to all of those as well. Good morning, Karen, Sherry, Lisa. Thanks for joining me live. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Annie, Judy, Elisa. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Ellen. I am working on that same tank top that I was working on yesterday. Hi, Gail. Hi, Chantel. Glad you guys could join me live this morning. Ooh, sunrise bling with a maxi skirt, Lisa. I can't wait to see it. Hi, Sarah May, Carmen, Donna, Denise, Terry, Melissa, Frieza Bee, Karen, Brenda, Sylvia, DJ, Edna. Thanks, Edna. Hi, Ruthie. Oh, hi, Cynthia. I have an update on Faye, which I will share with all of you, and I have an update on the color of the water too. That's good news. Hi Pam, thanks for joining live. So I've made a little bit of progress on my tank top. I mean, like, we're getting to be a pretty nice length here. Considering this isn't even blocked yet, I would imagine that it's probably a length that I would be happy with. So I should probably set it down for a minute. Okay, so our updates first, and then I'll tell you about what I'm wearing. So first update is Faye. I spoke with Faye yesterday, and she has been taking a social media hiatus over the summer. So she is perfectly fine, happy with her family, and appreciates all of the concern, and said that she will actually be back to visit us here for Yarn on the Beach soon. And so that's great news. So I was really excited to share that with all of you. The second piece of good news I have is that the color of the water that I've been going ew about all week is actually nothing to do with red tide and nothing to do with any of the other stuff in the water. Because of the heavy rains that we've had lately, the runoff in the mangrove, let's see, how do I say this? It's runoff from the mangroves of the tannins in the roots, which creates tannic acid. And so if you're familiar with lake water, you see that tannic acid from leaves in the water, and it gives it that brownish color. So there is a mushroom cloud, so to speak, of this tannic acid water runoff from the mangrove roots that's come out of Wiggins Pass, the inlet down here, and it's just come around to just the beach area. So it has nothing to do with the entire Gulf of Mexico. And, you know, I'm sure in a few days it will all dissipate. So this is just tannic acid from the roots of the mangrove. So that's really encouraging, because not knowing what something is allows your brain to go crazy about it. And I was starting to worry that it was not good for me to be in front of the water because of that color. So I'm so happy to hear that it is totally natural and normal, and just because of rain, and it will dissipate. So that's our second bit of good news. Yeah, DJ gets that when she has rain near a river by her. Hello, Elsa in Portugal. Thanks for joining live. Okay, so then today I'm wearing two pieces. First of all, this piece is the Marissa knit shawl from my book Motif Magic, and I did get an email the other day from somebody who said she wasn't happy with the size that her shawl turned out. And this is a great subject to bring up, because I know we say how important gauge swatch is for garments that need to fit, right? And I even will go so far as to say, if you're making a shawl, it doesn't really matter, except, here's the except for why gauge does matter with a shawl too. Let's say you see a pattern and you like the exact size it is on the model, you like the exact measurements that it is, you're going to need to know if you're achieving gauge to get that same size. It goes right along with the mentality of making sure that a garment fits, which reminds me, I'll be telling you about this garment too. But if you want a garment to fit, you got to make sure that your gauge is the same or it won't be the same size. Well, the same is true with shawls. So she was complaining that her shawl turned out too small. So without knowing any other information, we have to ask, did you use the same yarn? Did you use the same needles? Did you use the same tension? Is your gauge the same? And without knowing any of those things, it's impossible to determine whether or not someone's project is going to turn out the same size. So it's going to look the same regardless of whether you do a gauge swatch. It's going to have the same lace stitches, it's going to have the same scalloped motif border, but if you want it to be the exact size or a different size than what you see in the photos, then you've got to make sure that you do your gauge swatch and either make it the same or adjust it if you want it different. So, having said all that, I really just wanted to emphasize the fact that gauge is only important if you want your projects to be the same as what you see. If you want to do a loose interpretation and you don't care what size it turns out, then it absolutely doesn't matter. But if you do, it does. I hope that helps some people, because I know a lot of people are confused and have lots of questions about gauge. And so I thought this particular question was a good opportunity to talk about it again. Hi Aranita, hi Darlene, hi Laren, Christy. Glad to see you all here this morning. Okay, so this is a pattern from Motif Magic. You can either buy it in the book, it's available on Amazon Prime, all over the world. You can also buy an autographed copy of the book from me directly, or you can also download the pattern individually in Ravelry. This is called the Marissa's Shawl. It takes one ball of Be So Fine yarn, which is fingering weight bamboo, and this particular one is done in a trio of tidbits, the miniature sizes of Be So Fine yarn. This one is done in colorways Jaded Peacock, Stormy Sea, and Harbor Fog. Somebody ordered volume 2 of the Create, Share, Inspire journal yesterday. Yay, wonderful. I'm so excited to hear what people think of the books once they start using them. Can't wait to get your feedback. Does pattern include, yardage include in this, not sure I read that correctly. Yep, this is actually, and this is the Tempesta top, done without the sleeves. So it is knit from the bottom up. And this is a pattern on my website and on Ravelry. You can find it in both places. Lisa, I'm so glad you love the book. I'm so happy about that. Wonderful. Another frigging worm. I get scared. The pattern yarn, I have no idea at the moment. I'd have to look at it. No idea. Yeah, sorry about screaming, guys. Yeah, I'm afraid sometimes pattern details, I can't recall everything off the top of my head. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head, Karen. I'd have to look at the pattern. Sorry. Yep, you could also frog it afterwards. That's fine. Oh, well, I'm glad it cracks you up, Elizabeth, and doesn't scare you. Sometimes I scare people. Thanks, Lynn. Oh, Brenda, I would freak out too. I found a garter snake in my garage recently. Actually, he was in my driveway, and as I was screaming at him to get him out of my driveway, I scared him into my garage. Awful, awful, awful. And there were landscapers in the neighborhood laughing at me and not helping, and then my mailman saw me and came to my rescue and came and helped me get him out of the garage. I was screaming like a banshee, just freaking out, but I'm irrationally afraid of snakes, so what are you gonna do? It is what it is. In general, it depends on the pattern, Karen. You know, a lot of times you can, if you make a gauge swatch, even if you're going to block it, if you just fasten it off with your ball of yarn and don't actually cut it, I don't see any reason why you couldn't unravel it back out if you thought you were going to need all of your yarn. And not every pattern takes 100% of the yarn that it's called for. So I mean, it really is going to depend on each pattern and each project and each time you make something. Yes, well, it depends. I guess if you like snakes, then snakes are not shocking. Are you posting the other pattern for summer hat? Yes, eventually I will be. Yes, that's, yes, correct. Swatching's new to Karen, yeah. Laren, most of the time I reuse my swatch yarn. Some people don't like to, some people like to keep them. I like to, so when you're fastening off, let me show you how you would fasten off if you don't want to cut yarn. So let's say I wanted to fasten this off right now and not cut my yarn. So I would take my ball, so I would take my loop, and this would be the same for knitting or crochet. You want to make your working loop really long, pass your ball of yarn through your working loop, and I'll pick this back up, and then do all the motions of fastening off, but don't cut your yarn. So now it's completely secure. You can go ahead and do whatever you're going to do to this. You could wet block it, steam block it, mist block it, lay it flat to dry. And once you're all done with that, if you wanted to unravel it then, let's just pretend this is a swatch, not a sweater. You'd come back here and you'd loosen up that knot. Right? You loosen up the knot first and then pull your working loop back tall. And then you could pop the ball of yarn back through. And then you're ready to either keep working or unravel it and use it for something else. So yeah, I mean, there's no reason, there's no like hard and fast reason why you need to keep gauge swatches. They're just meant to see what the size, how big you're making something. Congratulations, Christine. She won second place in a design contest at the CGOA conference. It's wonderful. What color am I using? This is Be So Lush yarn, and the name has something to do with deep water. Yeah, some people say that the blocking it makes the yarn different. I have not found that to be true, but everybody's opinions are different, and that's fine. If somebody feels that way, then they shouldn't reuse their gauge swatch yarn. Yeah, congratulations, Kristen. I'm so glad to see everybody else congratulating you too. Very nice. Ooh, that's a beautiful color, Christine. $1 Million Red Be So Fine yarn is what she used for the dress. Fabulous. What a pretty dress. I think you showed me that dress, right? Have I seen pictures of the dress? I'm pretty sure I have. Ah, Kim, you found an emoji with the red dress. That's awesome. Yes, yeah, it is the red dress. I think you shared it in the Create, Share, Inspire group too then, right? Does anybody else remember seeing her red dress? Did you photograph it over the leopard dress, right? Make mistake while making chain. Yes, yeah, I remember the pictures. Oh, KB remembers the pictures too. Great, okay. Lisa, yeah, just go back and look, Lisa. It'll be in there. Hi, DJ from Burbank, California. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. I love dresses. Love knit and crochet dresses. Yeah, all right, everybody's got something to go back and look at now. Now we can congratulate her on the photo too then. Judy wants to know if I'm going to be crocheting any bags. I've got lots of bag patterns. You should look for them on my website. If you go to the free pattern page, it's a catalog all organized by different types of projects. So you can look by knitting, you can look by crochet, you can look by yarn, you can look by type of project, and I have a whole section on bag patterns. So you can find a whole bunch there. Cynthia saw the short skirt that I ordered on Amazon. Yeah, I think that might work. Freeze Bee likes the market bags. Me too. The name of the top, Jean, is called the Tempesta top. Oh, Christine, that's wonderful. She gave door prizes too. Yeah, the beach is beautiful today. If anybody follows me on Instagram, I shared a video when I had to come down here an hour early this morning. I had to drop Marlon off to tennis for a special lesson at 6 this morning. So I got here an hour early and decided to just work on my top, enjoy the scenery. So I was here closer to the actual sunrise, like when it goes from dark. Like I had headlights on the whole way here. So it was dark when I got here, and I watched the sun come up here and light up the sky. So if you follow me on Instagram, in my story I did a video of the really intense beach colors, and then I shared a photo as well. But oh my God, the sky just lit up, and it wasn't even the sun side, right? So the sun came up in the east, and this is the west facing, but the clouds over the water were like bright fiery golds and reds, and it reflected on the water in pink tones. It was pretty spectacular. And you know, once we go back to regular time, not daylight savings time, and as the days get shorter and we head back towards winter, the time that Yarn on the Beach starts will end up being closer to the actual sunrise again. So we'll get to see more of that as we approach the shorter days of the year. But I'm good with waiting on that. I like the warm weather too. Make some yarn in the new color. Yeah, it could be a new colorway for sure. Yeah, exactly, Lara. Not going to rush the cold, but there will be, you know, that will be the silver lining to it for sure. Cynthia, yes, my son does play tennis year-round. That is correct. 6 days a week. I am getting ready to dye some new colors in Be So Fine yarn today. So I'm leaning towards a variegated color with some black in it. And I'm also leaning towards doing something like the Charlie's Angels colorways in Be So Sporty, but doing them for Be So Fine. So I think that's what I'll be working on later today. I have to have... Lisa, which yarn are you talking about? What is a punching needle? That's a different craft. It's, you can do... There's a bunch of things you can do with it. I've seen it done for pillows before, and maybe like embroidery kind of wall hangings. Yeah, so I guess doing a black variegated could technically be a Bosley colorway for the Charlie's Angel series. I'm just not sure if I like that name for a color of yarn. So I might just have to go with something else. Oh, rugs with a punch needle. Yes, that's another thing you can do. And needle felting. Yes, thank you guys. No, I did not show my hair today. I did something real that I thought was going to be lazy, and it turns out I like it. So my hair is in a high ponytail, and I've smoothed my hair back with wax to try to get the flyaways down. And so it's in a high ponytail, and then from that high ponytail, I made a bun, and then once I secured the bun with bobby pins, then was able to pull some pieces out to make it look puffier. So I normally don't put a ponytail in first, which is probably why I don't get a great structured bun. So I was surprised that that actually worked. Thanks everybody, I appreciate it, thank you. I think I'm getting some new flower pins in the mail today. If any of you have looked on in my Amazon shop, I've ordered some new flower pins. You know, the hot pink one that I wear on the side with a bun or on my hat. I ordered a couple other colors. I think I have a white coming and a turquoise coming, which I'm so excited to wear those. And then I found a comb that has little flowers on it. So I'll be able to put a comb in on the side with two little flowers on it. And I bought that in red and in white. So I think those are going to be really fun when I wear my hair down. Lisa, yeah, if I wear my hair too tight, I could get headaches too, but I don't pull anything really tight. Instead of pulling tight, I fake it by putting wax in my hair so it looks like it's smooth and tight, but it's not tight at all. If I wear my hair too tight, it'd probably fall out. I forgot my hats today. I don't think I have them. Nope, did not bring them. Ah, now the screen's getting dark too. You know, a new bling colorway from this morning would be really pretty though. I think I might do, okay, so I'm going to do a black variegated in Sporty and Fine maybe. Do Be So Fine yarn in the Charlie's Angels colors, and then maybe do a new colorway from what we saw on the beach this morning in Bling Sporty and Bling Fine. So I think that's what's on my list to do today. Oh, and working on some book layouts. So I think I told you I'm working on a series of crochet encyclopedias, right? Or is this the first time I'm actually saying what I'm working on? Grace likes the black. Yeah, oh, I'm always busy. That's all right. The blacks is also called pomade, I think, sometimes. Freezabee uses a paste too. No news about the yarn retreat. I haven't found anybody that stays consistently helping me, and it turns out I don't think I have time to do all this research on my own. So had a few people that sounded interested in helping, and then, you know, go about their own business and stuff. So you know, it's not the right time yet, I guess. Okay, Terry, maybe I haven't mentioned it yet. So couple reasons why the word encyclopedia is really important to me, and that is because encyclopedias were something that I grew up, we always had encyclopedias in my house, the whole volume of them, along the bottom row of a bookcase, and it's probably my favorite series of books that we ever had in our house. And anytime we got a new set, not only would I get excited about the new set, but sometimes the older sets I still enjoyed because I love seeing the differences between them too. I remember we had a set from before I was born. I think it was my grandma's set, and sometimes it's from the 60s, and even in the 80s when I had our brand new fancy ones, I would still love to go back and look at her 1960 version because there was always just so much information in there. And on any given day, you could go to any volume and just find stuff to learn about. And I loved that so much. So I've always liked the idea of calling things that are learning tools encyclopedias and doing them in series. So I think I've talked about it on my How to Knit and How to Crochet pages, where I have those huge libraries of stitches with all the written instructions as well as the video tutorials. And even all those video tutorials have right hand and left hand and slow motion instruction. So I feel really good that I've covered a lot of that stuff, and it's a really beautiful place for me to constantly grow it. Well, when wanting to write crochet books and knitting books that are talking about stitches, not pattern books, but really talking about the craft and learning a craft. For me, it's important to really try to embody something, take one thing and talk about it very in depth and then move on to something else. Not try to fit everything into one book, because you're never going to be able to do that. And in order to even try, you're going to miss so much. So I'm doing it in volumes instead of one solid book. And that way I can dedicate a 100-page book or so, whatever it ends up being, to a few stitches or a few stitch patterns and really dive into what you can do with that. So it's going to be volumes of an encyclopedia. So I haven't really finalized the name yet. I have a working title that nobody likes but me. And it probably is not embodying what I want it to say. But at the end of the day, what I'm hoping to accomplish with my encyclopedia of crochet learning books is to empower you that once you've learned all that I want to show you from a stitch or a stitch pattern, it empowers you to be able to make things on your own without always needing patterns. And I love that idea, because that's how I started knitting and crocheting. I didn't have access to patterns, and once I knew how to make a shape, I could just make that. I could just make anything in that shape as long as I knew what size things needed to be. So that's the gist of the series, and I think once people understand what it is, that's the key to good marketing, right? And explaining it well enough, it's going to be an incredible tool that I think anybody at any skill level would love to have on their shelf as a reference book. And I mean that for every single volume. So the first volume is almost completely written. And let's see. Thanks, Laren. I'm really excited about it. Kimberly, sounds like something you'd like. Okay, wonderful. Yes, Lisa, it would be something that you could turn to all the time. And then as we do it with different types of stitches and different types of stitch patterns, I think it could be something that just really empowers people to be more creative on their own and not have to rely on other patterns and things all the time. And not have to dig online for something. Absolutely. So there's going to be all sorts of things that are just in that one spot, so that you don't have to say, well, I can get this information in this book, then I'm going to go to this website to get this part of it, and then go back to this book to look. I'm trying to embody all of it in one spot, but in order to do that and keep it in a book size, you have to limit the number of stitches. So it'll make more sense when it comes to fruition. But last night I laid out the first volume, and it's 90% done. Okay. So gonna need to reach out to some editors this week. Yes, inspiring people to be more creative themselves. Yes, yes. And you'll totally understand what I'm saying when I can show you more of it, but I just want you to know that I'm making this to empower you, and I really and truly hope that that's how it will come across to you. So, is that enough of a sneak peek? Yes, DJ, it'll be downloadable as well as available in print. Absolutely. It'll be available both ways. And I'm not sure how often the volumes will come out. It'll be more frequent than once a year, but we'll see. But you'll be amazed by how much you'll be able to do just from the first volume. I mean, you could make gifts for other people and for yourself forever just with the one volume and never go further. I mean, it's just about adding. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. So I can't really say much more, I guess, without saying. I'm making it more confusing the more I talk, I suppose. So sorry about that. But I am excited, and I'm excited to share it with you. And we're close to the finish line. Thanks, Beatrice. Thanks, Brenda. Laren, yeah, earrings are a great start. Yes, I did make my top. This is the Tempesta pullover, and it just doesn't have the sleeves. I just decided to not make the sleeves on this version. Oh, that's great, Sherry. Yep, the first issue will definitely be Zen-like, Beatrice. Absolutely. Could definitely be your go-to book for Zen. Well, it looks like we're almost out of time, and I need to get to work. So let's take this last minute here. I need to remember to wear gloves all day today. There we go. So let's take this last minute here to look out on this gorgeous view, soak in the sound of the waves, the beautiful scenery, and set our intentions for the day. My intention is to remember gloves all day today, among other wonderful positive things. Excuse me. Thanks everybody for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the sound of the waves, the good news about Faye and the color of the water, the scenery, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.